Hello and welcome to Disco Designs, an interior design podcast. And today it's also an interior design video. For this episode, I'm trying something a little bit different. I'm both recording the podcast as usual, but I'm also filming some video content with the hopes that it will appeal to a wider range of people. For those who want to sit down and watch a video and have some visual stimulation, that is now an option for you. I'm going to do my best to make both experiences really good for you. So I'm not giving you just an audio only experience or just a video only. It'll all make sense in the crossover. Anyway, today we're talking about something I haven't talked about yet, surprisingly, and that is the big Swedish giant Ikea. What should you buy? What should you avoid at Ikea from a designer's point of view? Let's get into it. All right, welcome back. Thanks so much for tuning in today or switching on the video. We're going to talk about Ikea today. I've mentioned Ikea in many videos before, but kind of on purpose, I've been actually avoiding doing a video all about it because I feel like everybody does video and audio recordings about Ikea. However, it's kind of a necessity of modern living, especially in Australia, where we may have a smaller pool of options to choose from when compared to the big wide world around us. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go shopping. I'm going to take you through each department and say, from my point of view as a designer, what I would bother spending money on at Ikea and what I wouldn't necessarily. And I'm not going to give you real specific products, although I might shout out a few, but I'm going to be talking more about ranges of products and the types of products and perhaps where else I might get it from. So first of all, as an interior designer, do I use Ikea? Yes and no. I would never be using Ikea on a project unless, or for a client, unless I had that conversation with them beforehand. I wouldn't go ahead and just start specifying Ikea products for them. And the main reason for that is they can go to Ikea and get them themselves. It's not a very designer thing to do. What am I bringing to the table as value? Now, there are some exceptions, mainly in kitchens probably, and also the PAX wardrobe system. Some clients specifically go, I want an Ikea kitchen because of these reasons. Can you help me with that? And we can go, absolutely. But I'm not going to be saying, let's get your coffee table from Ikea. Let's get cushions from Ikea. That's not something as a designer I would do. It was at that moment my cat started to use the litter box. We're back now. As a designer, I would not be using Ikea products on a project that I'm specifying unless I've talked to the client about it. I would use Ikea products in staging for a home. So if I'm staging for sale or doing a display home, absolutely, because they're cost effective. They also are fairly ubiquitous and people kind of know what the aesthetic is, and they're inoffensive, many Ikea products. So there is a time and there is a place. Yes, I have plenty of Ikea products in my own home. And I'll talk a little bit about that later on. But as a rule, if I was using a designer and they started specifying Ikea products, I'd be having that as a bit of a red flag because Ikea is not really a designer. Ikea is not really a designer brand, really. Some of the retro stuff is now, but not the modern stuff. All right, I've got up in front of me a little map of my local showroom, and we're going to go through it, and I'm going to talk about what I think you should maybe look at IKEA, what's worth your time, and what I just would not bother about. The first area we come into is living rooms, which includes sofas, armchairs, sofa beds, and coffee tables. 2 out of those 4, I would say yes or maybe 2. Sofas, I would say maybe 2. It depends on the sofa. There's my cat in the background there. The sofas, I would say maybe 2. I actually have an Ikea sofa at the moment, and I actually really love it. It's flexible. It has different covers that are available that I can switch in and out. Price-wise, it made sense, and it's also very modular and easy to move with. For my taste, there are a lot of very traditional and I would almost kind of say dowdy sofas at Ikea. I don't like slip covers. You might be a fan of a slip cover. So a lot of their sofas are out of my aesthetic, but there's a couple of them that are very contemporary and very beautiful. Same goes with some of the armchairs and sofa beds. So Ikea has some really good day beds. If you're really tight on space or you want to have some flexibility in an area, then absolutely day beds can be a great option from Ikea that is kind of hard to get from somewhere else. Darling, Daddy's trying to work here. She's been interrupting twice now. Coffee tables. Coffee tables. Would I bother getting a coffee table from IKEA? No. No, please do not buy the Lack coffee table. Don't do it. Do not buy the Lack coffee table. I beg of you, because everybody in human history has had a Lack coffee table at some stage in their life. Don't care that it's $10. Don't get it. Just get a secondhand one from somewhere else if that's your price point. There are maybe a handful of coffee tables that get me excited at IKEA, but there's not really a lot. And I think there is much better retailers out there, so I'd give that a pass. Living room and storage, bookcases, storage systems, media units and TVs, and glass cabinet doors. Yes, so there are two big ranges here that I would suggest are appropriate for many spaces. The first is the Billy bookcase. It's pretty ubiquitous. A lot of people know the Billy bookcase, and it comes in many configurations. And there are a few products on the market that are as accessible and affordable for lots of books than the Billy bookcase. Same goes with the Besta storage units. I actually have quite a few Bestas here at home. I use them for both a sideboard / entertainment unit, and I use them in my bathroom as well as storage. They're really flexible. They come in a whole bunch of different sizes, and they make sense for a lot of people. So I give a thumbs up for that. Let's move on through to the dining room, shall we? Dining chairs, stools, dining tables. I used to have an IKEA dining table. What do I think generally of their product range? I think maybe chairs more than tables. I think you can get much more elevated tables from other retailers, or even, honestly, if you were after a timber table, I'd be trying to get one secondhand or refurbish one. Grab something off Facebook Marketplace and give it a sand and a bit of a recoat. That is absolutely what I would be doing, because I think you'll end up with a much better product than what you buy at IKEA. They have some interesting dining chairs. I'll give them that. Yeah, but again, if you're after, they have a lot of variety of dining chairs, so that kind of makes sense to me. Let's continue on through to kitchens. IKEA kitchens are, again, quite famous for being generally quite good quality. Quite good quality, quite flexible, a good alternative if you're after a prefabricated kitchen. What I would say though, given the current climate of everything, especially in Australia, I've been finding that many clients who maybe have approached me for an IKEA kitchen actually end up going for a custom kitchen, because it actually doesn't cost that much more, or can sometimes honestly be cheaper. The thing you need to watch out for with IKEA kitchens is, at least in Australia, they do not include any costing on installation and labor. And also, if you're choosing an engineered stone countertop, they will give you a really wishy-washy answer. So they'll give you an approximate $1 per square meter each. So I believe they use Caesar stone, but you could use any engineered stone that you wanted to. There are some more affordable offerings out there as well. But know that the $10,000 kitchen that you see at IKEA, remember, that is not inclusive of any labor. All of your trades, all of the fabricators to put it together. So probably double the cost, honestly, on some of these kitchens. So kitchens, yes, cabinetry can be good. Custom might just be as affordable, and you'll end up with a much better finish, and it'll be custom made for your space. There are some really good kitchen accessories as well, some really clever storage solutions for drawers and other little things to organize your kitchen. So ferret around in that section a bit. That's kind of worthwhile, I think, to come up with some innovative solutions. I would not be bothering buying appliances from IKEA. They sell white goods and appliances, but I can't see a good reason why you'd want to buy one there from there. Yeah, let's give that a skip. Bedrooms is next up on my list. Beds, bedside tables, mattresses, and bunk beds. I would probably give a lot of the bed frames, a bit of a miss from IKEA. I think you'll get much better quality elsewhere, and I think you'll get some things that are possibly a bit more... You get better bang for your buck. They're probably better quality. They mightn't be cheaper. They might be the same price. Bedside tables... I find that IKEA generally has some pretty uninspiring bedside tables. There's maybe one or two, but generally I think you'd be better off going to a different retailer and finding something that's a bit more exciting than just grabbing whatever at IKEA, or grabbing something off Marketplace as well. That would be another fantastic option. I would also not be buying a mattress from IKEA. I've actually never bought a mattress from IKEA. I've only sat on one once, but it doesn't feel right that I'd be buying a mattress from IKEA. I feel like that's a very specialist thing, and we should go to a place that knows mattresses, and I can have a good try out. But hey, prove me wrong. Maybe you've had a fantastic IKEA mattress. I don't know. Next up on the list, wardrobes and storage. The most famous product probably that lives in the wardrobe and storage section is the PAX wardrobe system. Very flexible, very scalable. I have one in my main bedroom, which was I basically I have a built-in wardrobe, and it had just a single railing and shelf, which I removed and then put in a PAX wardrobe system on half of it, and then did a double hanging rail on the other half to give me heaps of hanging space. Again, it's very flexible. There's a lot of inserts and storage options available, so I give the PAX a thumbs up. There's also some other little things like hanging racks for walls, wall hooks. What else is there? Hat stands, shoe storage. There's a lot of cool little things that you can grab from that storage section. Same with some tall boys. I'd go with maybe some tall boys from Ikea. I think that's okay. Bathrooms. I'd say go to bathroom accessories. Probably steer away from the vanities. I don't think the vanities are bad. And if there's one you really, really love, then sure. But I also think we have so many other retailers which probably do a better job and maybe a higher quality product than an Ikea vanity. So yeah, I'd probably give that a bit of a pass. Ikea workspaces, desks, computer desks, chairs, storage, and units. I'm going to say yes to most of the Ikea work products. Generally, I find the desks at Ikea to be quite good. There's obviously the really low-cost options with the particle board tables with the removable legs, which actually I've had like one or two of those over the years, and they've lasted a long time. They're not the most durable thing in the world, but they'll last you a long time. And if you need something that's light and portable and you can move it easy and adjust it, then it's certainly an option. When sit-stand desks became a thing originally, I bought an Ikea sit-stand desk, and I really highly rate it. I've actually given it away to a friend because I've rebuilt my office situation here out of plywood, and I've built myself a new desk to sort of fit in seamlessly with everything. But she now has my sit-stand desk, and it's still going strong some probably 8 years later. So definitely would recommend sit-stand desk from Ikea. They're pretty decent quality. Their office chairs, they have some really aesthetic office chairs, but again, the quality on a lot of them, if you are sitting for, I think it's fine for home study, but if I was fitting out an office, I would definitely be going to a professional retailer which deals in commercial grade products. They got heaps of storage units there for workspaces, filing cabinets, little trolleys. I say yes, go ahead, go for the storage units. Sounds good to me. Kids section. I don't do a lot of shopping in the kids section. That's usually the bit I speed through. However, I do see some really fun things in there, some really fun room accessories, some really unique size storage options as well as and some beds. So I'd say absolutely. There's some really cool wall decals and just other little. They've got a little chair that I really want to buy for my cat. It's meant for toddlers, but hey, it could be a cat-sized chair. So I don't know. That's a thing. And that kind of takes us to the top of the first floor. I'm going to skip over the restaurant. I don't think that's really worth your time. But you might want to go for a meatball. I never really got the meatballs. Never really my vibe. Let's whiz through downstairs. I don't want to spend forever on this. Tableware and flatware, glassware, cutlery, food storage, pots and pans. I would say the IKEA 365 storage containers for the kitchen, like Tupperware containers, the glass ones, absolutely. I wouldn't be buying cutlery. I wouldn't be buying pots and pans. I wouldn't really be buying plates either from IKEA. Whilst I think the plates are a fine quality, they're okay. I think you could get more interesting things elsewhere. They do kind of have some cool glassware that you'd have a hard time getting elsewhere. But look, just try to avoid any ones that obviously say IKEA on it. I think that's kind of just a bit of you could find something that's a bit more elevated elsewhere. So I'm going to keep maybe the food storage, the Tupperware containers, and maybe throw out the rest there. There's a couple of other accessories like fruit bowls and like napkin holders that I can think of that are maybe quite cool, but definitely stay away from the cutlery, stay away from pots and pans. You're better off spending your money buying quality at a proper kitchen store. Up next, we've got textiles. Curtains and blinds, cushions and throws, fabrics and bed linen. Say yes to the first two, no to the last two. Yes to yes to curtains and blinds. I actually really like the IKEA blind system, especially ones with corners. I've got corners in my home, and it's a lifesaver for that. I don't think they're the highest quality in the world, the actual track system, but for the price, they're pretty damn good. And you can get some really interesting pre-done panel fabrics as well. Just remember, you want to hang your curtains at the right height, and one of my first episodes was all about the right height of curtains and drapery, so go check that out if you haven't already. Let's whiz through this. Cushions and throws, it's a 50-50. I kind of like some of their Euro cushions. They're large, oversized ones. But the rest of them that look like they're obviously from IKEA, just no. Give them a pass. Go somewhere else and get something that's going to be a quality, not only a quality inner, but also a quality outer slip cover. If you really have to have one of their slip covers, maybe find an insert from somewhere else. Fabrics, I'm going to give it a miss on that. Bed linen, quilts, and pillows, I'd give a miss on that as well. I don't know why you're buying a doona from IKEA, or maybe if they have a really fun doona cover that you want, but just generally, you're going to be able to get much better quality elsewhere. It's something really tactile you're going to touch all the time. I'm going to skip over the bath because whatever, I think if there's some accessories in there you like, sure, whatever, but they're pretty ubiquitous at many other places. Home organization, desks and storage, laundry. Again, if there's stuff in that section that fits your needs, whatever, they're sort of more discretionary items that you're using as part of a whole composition. Lighting. Let's talk about lighting. Lighting is actually one of the things that I really like from IKEA. Lighting, for me, there's some really exciting things happening in the lighting department at IKEA. Not only some of their table lamps, really interesting and quite affordable. They've got some really good integrated lighting solutions, some light strips. They have some interesting pendants as well, and also some light control systems. So I would say absolutely spend your money there. Just avoid paper lights. Don't do the paper light. Don't do the paper light, especially if you live in Queensland where we have subtropical and tropical humidity. Don't do the paper lamps. Stick with something decent. There's some of them are actually solid metal, so they'll last a long time. So 100% lighting at IKEA, let's do it. What I wouldn't do though from IKEA is some of the actual hardwired lighting, some of the ceiling lights and track lights. You'd be able to get much more exciting things elsewhere. So maybe let's just stick to lamps. Rugs at IKEA, very hit and miss. If I had a really specific look that I was trying to achieve, maybe I'd use an IKEA rug, but I generally find they're pretty generic, so I think you got better options elsewhere. Let's move to the last section, which is all about decoration. Mirrors, yes. Yes, there's some quite affordable and large format mirrors from IKEA. I give them a yes. Picture frames, this one sucks because everybody knows what an IKEA picture frame looks like, but there's not a whole lot of affordable options on the market. So I'm going to say, okay, you can have the picture frame, but let's maybe look to upgrade those into the future, or buy something secondhand, or find something reclaimed. I've got a whole collection that I got from the local tip shop, which were donated for like $1 each, and they're like gold gilded ones. They're great. So I don't love an IKEA photo frame. Same with their posters. Do not buy generic IKEA art. Cannot stress that enough. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, Maria. Don't buy generic IKEA posters or art. We all know it's from there. It has zero personality. It's boring. Go see my episode on not buying shitty art if you want me to rant more about that. And our last little department is home decor, vases, candles, pots, pot plants, indoor and outdoor furniture. Some vases, yes. There's a couple that are okay. Candles, plain candles maybe. I actually just bought some candlestick holders from IKEA. They were fun, green, pink, and purple. They were fun powder-coated steel ones. Don't buy any of their scented candles. They all smell so... And if you want a sweet-smelling candle, there's so many better ones out there. I would buy their tea light candles, perhaps. I would buy some of their candle holders and maybe a couple of vases, but that's about it. Plants and pot plants, it's up to you. If you see something you love, why not? And I also don't think their outdoor furniture is particularly robust. So I'd probably steer clear of that. That brings us to the checkout. Now, if you are at a trip for IKEA, check out the sort of as-is section as well. I think maybe once I picked up a good buy in there, but you never know if you don't have a look, right? So all in all, I think that, look, to wrap up this episode, so look, at the end of the day, there are some things that, yes, you should spend some money on at IKEA, and probably some other things you should avoid. Follow your heart. Try to buy pieces that are going to last a long time, not things that feel flimsy or really cheap and disposable. Stick with higher quality things from IKEA. Stick with things that you can't get elsewhere. If you can get a better product elsewhere, then get it elsewhere. Try and minimize having a whole IKEA showroom in your house. And I know I've been there before. I've lived that life, and I'm slowly trying to work it through as I need to actually replace things. But that's my hot advice for you today, is to just, buy what you can't get elsewhere and that you really need, and it's functional and looks aesthetically good. But also keep an open mind to other retailers as well. Well, thanks so much for tuning in today, either the podcast or for watching me online on a video. My name's Dave. If you want to set up a discovery session with me, you can head on over to my website, Disco Designs. That's disko.design/contact. And you can fill out a form, or you can check out my booking calendar and book in a time and date. I'm also offering designer on demand as well at the moment. So if maybe you've got a pretty good idea of what you want to achieve in your space, but you want to run it past a designer, I can offer one-off or two-off consultations where we spend 90 minutes together, and you can show me what you've got, and you can ask any questions that you might have lingering in your mind so that you can get towards a resolution on your space. If that sounds interesting, head on over to my website and drop me a line. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful week. Stay safe, be kind to yourself. Bye.